In today's aviation news recap video, I want to take a look at some developments around Air Canada that aren't necessarily the most positive, but maybe are to be expected. Etihad Airways announcing a profit, and the upcoming selling of a Boeing 747-8 fleet. Let's begin with Air Canada. According to a new survey by J.D. Power, Air Canada is ranked among the worst airlines in North America. The Canadian flag carrier ranked 9th out of 11 other companies in the economy class survey. It only really beat Spirit and Frontier. However, the results did worsen when exploring the ratings among higher cabin classes, with value for money, with Air Canada ranking last for premium economy and also business class across all other major North American customers that offer flights in these cabin classes. Interestingly, the survey that recorded North American Airlines really does focus on the lack of value for money present at the Canadian company. Air Canada, you may know, has long touted itself as a full-service premium company. However, its trans-border service, among other types of operations, has come under fire from travellers across forums and other review forums for not really being up to those standards that they say they are. While essential areas such as the value for money were highlighted as needing improvement at Air Canada, there were also other focal points worth exploring under the survey. The survey focuses on elements in the business that have dropped, including your onboard experience and airline staff. Horror stories have been recorded at the Canadian company regarding refunds, travel arrangements, and cancellation handling. While this is possible at any company, the survey once more highlights the lack of overall value for money and just how much more it is likely to take place at a company like Air Canada over the other ones listed. Other business elements were also targeted, such as your digital area. Analysts have long called out for airlines to focus more on improving digital tools to be successful in the long term. These analysts believe that airlines must continue investing in improving the customer experience inside airports and even before their flights are set to commence, rather than just putting, say, flashy seats on an aircraft but failing in all other elements. The survey that I speak of saw Air Canada score 542 points out of 1,000, which meant it sat 9th out of 11 across North America. Southwest Airlines was, by their standards, the big winner for economy, with the highest score out of the 11 airlines. Meanwhile, Delta comfortably held the title as the best scoring airline for first, business, and premium economy cabins. Ultimately, the survey really did take a look at how friendly and accommodating staff does increase customer satisfaction levels over time, and this should be a very important part to focus in on. While the airline business is tough, analysts do know that one area where carriers can stand out is in how they treat their customers. This part is free. And airlines that were seen to have treated their customers with greater care did ultimately score significantly higher than Air Canada's. And not to forget, as I touched on, there were other critical areas of the Air Canada operation that were critiqued, such as your value for money. Over to Etihad Airways now, who published their first quarter results for 2024, which did showcase to us an AED 526 million after-tax profit, or that's USD 143 million, in the first 3 months of the year. Ultimately, the improvement between financial years is pretty substantial. In Q1 of 2023, the airline only recorded an AED 59 million or USD 16 million profit. Thus, the performance across 2024 has been a massive difference. Across the quarter, the airline also saw revenue increase by AED 987 million or USD 269 million. Meanwhile, load factors were recorded at 86%. Interestingly, this didn't increase from the same period 1 year prior, and that is to a certain extent to be expected given the solid performance across the route network that also saw some capacity increases. Not only has Etihad Airways looked to grow its network across the last 12 months, this can be visible through, say, new routes and frequency increases, but where possible, we've also seen the upgauging of aircraft to existing destinations. Say Etihad deployed a 787 to a certain location, that was booming in terms of demand. Well, in some instances, we've seen them look towards, say, the A380, which is a massive capacity boost, and therefore means certain cities get additional seats. Another thing we know about the Abu Dhabi-based airline is its acceleration towards future growth. This is through Journey 2030. As part of these plans, the airline wants to more than double its fleet and add many new destinations while boosting the frequency of others. It is an ambitious growth target, but the airline is hoping to do it in a much more stable manner than what we saw take place in the 2010s. Back to the first quarter results, the airline highlighted a 43% increase in inbound point-to-point traffic. Etihad Airways is more than aware of the role it has in boosting the economy across the UAE and Abu Dhabi's tourism sector. This is a focal point for the remainder of the 2020s as we see many more airlines in the region, and I can't emphasize this enough. Really try to have passengers stop connecting through these cities and stopping off and visiting. This is what they believe to be a long-term factor to ensure these regions stay successful long into the future. The first quarter results do indicate again a very strong recovery from those turbulent times I spoke of in the mid-2010s, when Etihad Airways were leaking billions per financial year following significant aircraft and airline investments that, for better words, turned out to be an absolute disaster. Following these troubles, the airline underwent an extensive turnaround phase that focused on limiting costs and rebuilding the airline. As part of the turnaround, aircraft were axed, crew were cut, and routes were slashed to really focus on just profitable elements of the business. On to the final story. Korean Air has announced it'll be selling 5 Boeing 747-8 jets to Sierra Nevada Corporation, basically to develop the successor to the E-4B. As part of the sale, which was revealed in a filing, Reuters were the one to confirm that the aircraft being sold would be the 747-8 with Korean Air, ultimately this being the last iteration of the renowned Queen of the Skies. As per the filing, the sale is worth USD $674 million, and what it generally does is align with Korean Air's goal of modernizing its fleet to include more of your next generation types. The 5 units are expected to be officially sold in September of 2025. Significant importance has really been placed on the fleet within Korean Air, as the company looks towards integrating with Asiana Airlines. A most recent landmark order for the A350 really highlighted the direction the company wants to head, and while the 747-8s offer a great level of capacity, they have become increasingly less favorable for airlines as the move towards twin-engine planes accelerates. Once the 5 747-8s are removed, the airline will only have 4 747-8s in its fleet. This does exclude your single VIP transporter, which is offered to the Republic of Korea Air Force. As Korean Air looks to phase out the 747-8, ultimately it means for the Queen of the Skies, another customer is retiring this type in favor of other jets. Additionally, the Queen's retirement will align with the previously announced Airbus A380 retirement within the airline. Again, more and more companies will be saying goodbye to these aircraft types in the next few years. So as a result of all of this, they'll need a pretty hefty boost in capacity as the Super Jumbos will reduce available seats across several high-profile routes. This is going to conclude your aviation news recap. I wanted to thank you very much for the support here on the channel. Do be sure to take care and do also be safe. I'll see you same place, same time tomorrow for your latest aviation news.
And we'll fly.